This is the Finance Committee. It's April 2nd. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and broadcast over the public Lunenburg Access channel and on Facebook Live on the Public Access Facebook page, and will be uploaded to the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting. For those who would like to participate remotely from a computer, please use the link on the agenda at lunenburgmass.gov. From a telephone, dial toll-free 888-475-4499. We could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there any announcements?
Nope.
Nope. Jay, any announcements?
No.
Public comments?
Nope.
Town manager?
No report.
Finance director? Okay, then we're going to go to the articles. Tom, do you want to read them?
What?
Do you want to read them like we did last year?
Okay, well, we can start with Article A, authorize to hear and/or accept the reports of officers and committees of the town. This is a pretty standard one. Do we have any, I don't think is any committees so far?
There have been no committees so far to indicate that they are planning to provide a report to town meeting.
So we can either vote to approve it or no financial impact. Probably no financial impact.
Agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll make a motion that we vote to have no financial impact.
So moved. Second?
We'll have a roll call vote. Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
And I for myself.
Okay. B, authorized to borrow in anticipation of revenue and to enter into compensating balance agreement with a bank. This is the town manager. I think this is a new one, right?
No, this article was on last year.
Okay, so this has to do if we come into some cash flow issues, we'll borrow the money.
Correct.
And pay it back when money
Correct.
comes in. So this,
It's a fail-safe article.
okay. Any comments on that from anybody, I guess?
No?
Why are we,
Go ahead, Jay.
why are we seeing it again? Is this recurring every year?
You have to reauthorize the vote each year.
Thank you.
And it's usually short-term borrowing, and it's whatever market rate, or you go through a bond, like the municipal bonding rules.
I actually have never had to go through the process, so I don't know the details of the process off the top of my head.
Okay.
But they are short-term borrowings as you anticipate cash flow coming in. Have you ever been involved in one of these? No.
Okay.
The motion?
Make a motion to vote or make a motion?
Motion to approve.
To approve it. I make a motion to approve.
Second?
You make a motion to approve, okay?
Jay?
Madam,
Aye.
to clarify, the Finance Committee does not approve warrant articles. The Finance Committee recommends or finds no financial impact or does not recommend an
Yeah.
article.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I make a
that's
motion to
why,
recommend.
to
Recommend.
recommend approval.
Yes.
Yes. I'll second the recommendation of approval.
And we'll have a roll call. Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Aye for myself.
Okay, C, authorization to expend funds in anticipation of reimbursement of state highway assistant aid, Chapter 90 money. So this is the same thing. We have to do this every year also.
Correct.
Any comments?
So this is for Chapter 90. This is something that Jen brought. We used to not do that, but, and I'm just wondering, is this mandated by the state laws?
No, it authorizes the town to expend funds in advance of actually receiving them from the state for the Chapter 90.
Right, we never had done this before you came around, so I'm just, it's a curiosity, not necessarily.
It gives you the option to. This town carries a very large Chapter 90 balance, so it's likely that you didn't actually have to do this because you have a large Chapter 90 balance carrying over from year to year. This just authorizes that. I think that these two articles together should be standard articles on your warrant into perpetuity.
Gotcha. Okay.
Any other comments? Jay?
I'll make a motion that we recommend approval.
Second?
Jay?
Yes.
Roll call vote? Yes?
Yep.
Yep, aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Me? Aye.
D, Economic Development Committee revolving funds, to see if the town will vote to amend the Code of Lunenburg, Chapter 138, entitled Departmental Revolving Funds, Section 5, entitled Authorized Revolving Funds, subsection D, by the creation of an additional revolving fund as follows, to be named Economic Development Revolving Fund and administered as presented. And basically, it is, will be authorized to spend from the fund, Director of Planning and Economic Development or the Planning Board. And it'll be for fiscal year 2027 and subsequent years. And set for the fiscal year 27, a spending limit of $10,000.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Tom.
That's it.
Any comments?
So I can give insight a little bit onto why we're creating this fund. The town has done, has had the meet and greet that the Economic Development Committee wants to continue having. And it's been difficult for us to manage the cash because we get some sponsoring, I don't like sponsoring the food. Like my business has donated some money to just be able to put the event together and not cost the taxpayer any money. And it's just we've been uneasy about doing because we are handling money in and out in the name of the town. So that's where, Jen has been open to creating this revolving fund.
Okay.
I recommend approval.
Second.
I'll second.
Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
I,
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Aye for myself.
All right. E, Technical Revolving Funds. To see if the town will vote to amend the code of Lunenburg, Chapter 138, entitled Departmental Revolving Funds, Section 138-5, entitled Authorized Revolving Fund, subsection D, by amending the entry for the technical revolving funds, namely in the column therefore entitled Department, Board, Committee, Agent, or Officers authorized to spend from funds by replacing the existing text in its entirety with town manager or his or her designees, or take any other actions related to. So this, I guess this had other departments, but you want to keep it under your control or people that you designate?
No, it's that the current spending authority listed in the bylaw, and if I could just make a suggestion, a lot of the articles are written in legalese, the summaries are written in layman's terms. So a lot of these, if you're trying to figure out what they do, please refer to the summary as well. The current folks with spending authority are the town manager, the title of IT director. We have nobody with the title of IT director. The land use director, we have nobody with the title of land use director. So by changing it to the town manager designee, it allows me to designate the employee who's actually paying the bills from this account to be the one to pay the bills from this account.
Okay. So basically, if we change the names of anybody else, you can just assign it to them, rather than have to go through and get approval from somebody else.
Can you give an example of who a designee would be right now, since those two aren't there?
So right now, the person that is processing these bills is the building commissioner.
Okay.
It could be the building commissioner does not have a dedicated admin, but it likely will have an admin, and the admin will be the one who is going to be processing these bills.
Okay.
Any other comment?
I recommend approval.
Why is the
Oh.
building commissioner processing these bills?
Not that it has a financial impact, but because he doesn't have an admin. And I do not believe this article has a financial impact.
Well, I mean, well,
I guess why is the technology revolving fund under the building commissioner?
If you had read the summary, it says it's to pay the OpenGov invoices, which are associated with online permitting.
Where does it say that?
In the summary,
Those are the only bills he's paying for the permits that come through OpenGov?
the only allowable expenses from the technology revolving fund are associated with the online permitting, which is OpenGov. Again,
Okay.
I do not believe that this has a direct financial impact.
I understand that, but we can ask questions.
yeah, Jay, go ahead with your questions.
Those were my questions.
That's good. And I disagree on having a financial impact. I don't think we need to go into those rabbit holes because, you know, but thank you. Let's not go into rabbit holes. Let's just try to answer questions because if Jay has questions, I would say the public has questions. So that's why this rule is important. I make a motion to recommend approval of this motion, of this article.
Second.
I second that. I agree it might have some type of financial impact somewhere, and I think we should just vote on it in that way.
Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Myself, aye.
Okay. Revolving funds, to see if the town will vote to authorize revolving funds for various department boards, committees, agencies, or offices pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53E and a half for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2026, to be expended in accordance with Chapter 138 of the town's general bylaws or to take any action relative thereof. And then there's a list of the items. These are all the revolving funds, and there are limits. Ambulance bills, $100,000.
Can I read them aloud quickly for the public? Ambulance billing is $100,000, timber rights $10,000, school custodial special details $13,000, Green Thumb $5,000, library revolving fund $12,000, council on aging marked revolving account $60,000, stormwater task force $5,000, electric gas plumbing inspector revolving account $75,000, technology revolving account $30,000, local wetlands protection bylaw fees $50,000, COA mill site revolving account $20,000, and the parks programming $77,000.
Any comment?
Nope.
Jay, do you have any comment?
No.
I'll make a motion to recommend approval for Article F, revolving funds.
Second?
Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Myself, aye.
Authorized to pay expenses from prior fiscal year.
Do we have an amount for that, or no?
We won't have that yet, right?
Yes, listed in the summary, there are 2 outstanding invoices to Arrow Septic in the amounts of $1,317.50 and $577.50. My recommendation to the Finance Committee would be, though, to defer to town meeting. In the case that there are additional ones, you could perhaps take a partial recommendation tonight based on these 2 as they're going to be printed, but
Okay, I'll make a motion to defer Article G, authorization to pay expenses from prior fiscal year.
Second?
Okay?
Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya? Aye. Tom?
Aye.
And an aye for myself.
H, fiscal year 2026 budget adjustment, to see if the town will vote to transfer from available funds all sums of money necessary to amend the amount voted for the town's fiscal year 2026 budget under Article 10 of the May 3rd, 2025 annual town meeting and Article 2 of the November 18th, 2025 special town meeting, or to take any other action related to thereto.
I have questions about this one. If you're making movements within the 26 budget, isn't that something you can do with the authorization of Select Board? And it might be Select Board and
it depends on timing and timing of the year. This is a placeholder. There is going to be no motions at this point under this article.
okay, but you do.
No, so the Select Board, unlike the school committee, the Select Board doesn't authorize transfers for the town budget.
think you-
There is year-end transfers that are allowable within the last 60 days of the fiscal year, that the Finance Committee and the Select Board together jointly can make those transfers
But you alone can't transfer from like within a department,
within a department.
within a department.
And then for the broader question of between departments, that's one for legal counsel, and we're going to give you an it depends on that, because that's similar to the capital planning article, could be discussed in multiple ways, and I don't want to go down that rabbit hole tonight.
That's perfect.
But at least between one departmental, yes. So for example, I can right now authorize a transfer from a fire department expense line to a fire department salary line.
Right.
Where it becomes a little more gray is authorizing a transfer from the fire department expense line to a police department expense line. And we have authority to do that within the last 2 months of the fiscal year with the Finance Committee Select Board transfer. But again, there's no transfers here that are occurring at this town meeting. I think we did some at the, trying to remember what we did at the annual town meeting last year, but there were a few at the annual town meeting last year.
Okay. I just didn't think that we needed to do this at town meeting. And I tried to make town meetings shorter, so,
This will
Presently, this will be a motion to pass over.
okay. Since we don't have an amount or anything, I would suggest that we defer.
Second?
Yep.
Jay?
Yeah. Aye.
Anna?
I,
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Me? Aye.
I, fiscal year 2026 closeouts, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate or transfer from available funds a sum of funds to cover the fiscal year 2026 in prior years' operating deficits, or take any actions relative thereto. This, as I'm reading through, has to mostly do with the snow and ice removal, I think. So we don't have a figure for that yet, I don't think. So we can.
Yeah.
It's a 6:15 now. It better not be anymore, right? My back won't handle it.
Karen, we would do this if we don't have any leftover monies, right?
Say that again.
Oh, she got me.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't sure if you were trying to avoid my questions, but no.
Need to re-up on beverages. So you see the current estimated deficit there is 615,000. We're going to be able to cover some, but not all of that with transfers. We don't have all of the final snow and ice bills in yet. Once we have the final snow and ice bills in, we'll see what we can cover with transfers, but we're not going to be able to cover all of it. I have earmarked on your free cash spending plan that you have before you, up to $500,000. I expect it's going to be less than that, but I just don't know how much less at this point.
Okay.
So since we don't have a figure yet, and we'll get a full explanation either later on or at a
Yep.
town meeting, I recommend we defer.
A second.
Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Aye for myself.
Okay, the fiscal year 2027 omnibus budget, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate or transfer for funds or sum of, to defray the charges and expenses for town for the fiscal year 2027, and to fix salaries and compensations of all elected officials of the town and any other items included in the budget of the town manager, or take any other actions relative thereto.
And this one is another one that,
This is the non-override, right? These,
yeah, but we're still missing some funds, right? Listed here?
So that's, you don't have all of the motions. And so what you're missing is where we're transferring from, those are what would be included in the motion, where we're transferring from the exact amounts from the different enterprise funds for the indirect costs and the like,
Right.
including like turf to pay the debt on the turf field. So those, you don't have those final numbers here right yet.
So,
If it helps, the select board is, I don't know if they're going to defer, they may vote next Tuesday, but they haven't taken a position yet, for the same reason.
so I personally, I think it has been a thing for us. We always defer when we don't have final numbers. I would say we should do that. So I'll make a motion to defer.
second?
Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Aye for myself.
Okay. M, fiscal year 2027, proposed 2.5 override, to see if the town will vote to raise appropriate sums as may be necessary to supplement the general operating fund of the town and the Lunenburg Public Schools for fiscal year 2027, provide, however, that such appropriation shall be expressly contingent upon the approval of the voters of the Proposition 2.5 question, so-called in accordance with the general law, Chapter 59, 21CG, as followed. $2 million for Tier 1, $3.3 million for Tier 2 overrides, with the understanding that each amount will be presented to the voters as a separate ballot question, and that if any more than one question is approved, only the highest approved amount shall be implemented or take any other actions there relative to. So it's going to be two separate votes at the ballot, but it's one vote at the town meeting. Is that right?
Undetermined at this point.
Okay. So,
Well, undetermined as to whether or not it's going to be multiple motions, how the moderator wants that to look, if he has an opinion on that. So
That's up to the moderator?
the select board asked me to consult with the moderator on it.
Okay.
and is the ballot, on the ballot, has that been decided or no?
More or less, the numbers have been decided.
Right.
And the actual ballot language will be voted next Tuesday by the select board. It's with council right now. I think they voted subject to the final language from council.
So is it currently going to be sort of two ballots or one ballot?
So, good question. So on the election warrant, it must be two separate questions. So by law, it has to be two separate questions on the election warrant. On the town meeting warrant, so the town meeting does not approve an override. The town election approves an override. Town meeting approves an appropriation. So town meeting could approve one appropriation, could approve two appropriations, two different appropriations, or could potentially approve three appropriations. That's just the amount of spending. That's the spending authority. It does not apply to the override. So the override is the separate question on raising the actual levy limit. And so on the election warrant, those two override questions need to appear as two separate questions. The way it appears on the town meeting warrant, it could be one article, like there was separating out the omnibus budget and the override budget was not necessary. It could have been all one article with multiple motions. There's a variety of it. It could have been three articles. It may be three articles. But there's no legal requirement on how it appears for the town meeting warrant because it is just an appropriation as opposed to the election warrant.
Jen, what's the hesitation or what's the delay on the select board voting on this? They're voting on it Tuesday?
No, so the select board's recommendations, you mean?
Yep.
So the select board voted the two override figures.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know why they did it. I actually don't know why oh, maybe they just wanted the final language from, oh, no, I know what it was. They wanted me to consult with the moderator on how his interest in how to kind of whether to break those up as two motions under one article. That's what it was. They wanted that consultation with the moderator first. The moderator and I are meeting on Monday.
I mean, maybe it would be better for us to wait for that language as well before we vote on it.
So functionally, your vote tonight would not change.
Okay.
Because if you want to vote the two separate tiers, and then I can put that here, whether it's I can indicate, different votes on different tiers. However it gets split up, we can apply your vote appropriately to the book. But whether or not it's in one article or two articles doesn't or shouldn't change what the Finance Committee's recommendation on the underlying matter is.
Which is the just general override.
Correct. 2.4 and 3.3.
So you think we should have two separate votes and have two separate, I mean, would that be,
That would be the pleasure of the committee. I don't,
well, what do you think, Mr. Chairman? We could do two separate votes, one on tier one and tier two?
We can, sure, any way we want to present things.
Well,
I mean,
and that would be in the warrant that people would get. It would be clearer to them if we had, if we all voted to reject or approve both of them, that's fine. But it would also be clearer that we looked at each individual one. So it might be better information for the town, that's all.
right. I personally, I have a hard time recommending approval of an override or not, because I think, sitting in this place here, I can advocate for my position in public, but I think for us to be truly a representation of our community, we wanted the vote to be, everyone votes according to their ability to, fund an override or not. So anyway, I have a hard time, recommending people to spend more money of their taxes in this position, not me as a private citizen. I think the override should be put to the voters, and the voters decide. I wish the numbers had been different and represented something different. But with that, I wish us to not take the vote tonight because I'm very close to abstaining. And if I abstain, we're not even going to have the majority, even if everybody votes yes. Because, I think a vote with less than 4 votes is, oh, you guys will have 4. So yeah, if everybody's going to vote for, I forgot we're 5 here. But right now, I'm probably going to abstain because I don't know where I'm thinking. So we can decide to defer or to vote it tonight, or to wait to have the full board and vote.
We could defer and wait for Chris and Mike.
Yeah, I think that's,
I would defer.
This is a big thing, so I personally don't have any strong opinions either way. I'd vote now for it, but, I can see why waiting for Chris or Mike, but I do think that's kind of our biggest job here as a finance committee, is to make a recommendation to the annual meeting and to the town on what we recommend. And I know that on some of the things, we don't go like, this is exactly what I would do. And especially with these overrides, definitely clear that this is going to have a financial impact on everybody in town, every homeowner in town at least, every business owner in town who owns real estate. And some of them it's going to be a bigger burden than others. But you have to, I guess our decision is this the right thing for the town as a whole?
yeah.
I mean, I am with you, Tom, and if we were to have to, hand to God vote on it, I would recommend approval, because we've already talked about this for months and months and months. But if the board here the committee here thinks it's better to wait for our full board to move forward, I have no problem deferring either. If I heard Jay said that he'd prefer to defer, and Anna, you'd prefer to defer.
Yep.
So,
Madam Chair, I forget if I may, I forget the conversation at the end of your last meeting. Did you have a full board available next Monday night for a Zoom meeting? I know there was some tentative, I think, discussion, because
I think we would have a full board.
if the committee was inclined to take some of these, maybe not everyone where, some of them you've deferred to town meeting bills of a prior fiscal year that are likely to stay deferred until town meeting. But there are some other ones, like this one, that you might have a full board next Monday, is provided that I have everything that I need by Wednesday, I can get those recommendations into the mailing as long as I have it by Wednesday. So to the extent that this is something that, the community at large is probably very interested in knowing the position of the Finance Committee on if that was possible to take that vote, that would be great. If not, we'll have it deferred.
Yeah, I think it would be better if we could do it next week in time for you to get it by Wednesday.
Right, I'll make a motion that we defer.
second?
Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Aye for myself.
J, fiscal year 2026 capital program funding reauthorizations, to see if the town will vote to amend the vote taken under Article 8 of the May 3rd, 2025 annual town meeting to fund fiscal year 2026 program of capital projects option 2 by rescinding the authorization to transfer from Article 6 of the May 7th, 2022 annual town meeting the sum of $325,000. Second one is to rescind the vote taken under Article 11 of the November 14th, 2023 special town meeting to fund the repair of the roof at the TC Passio building. And 3, authorize the transfer from Article 6 of the May 7th, 2022 annual town meeting to be included in the funding of the $1,225,000 fiscal year 26 capital budget. Option 2, as appearing in the May 3rd, 2025 annual town meeting warrant booklet, or take any other actions thereto.
Madam Chair, if I can help, the third paragraph down in the summary explains this in the clearest language. And this is a housekeeping article, although very confusing, I will admit. So, town meeting at the May 7th, 2022 town meeting appropriated funds for the FY23 capital plan for the hazardous material abatement at the old primary school. Those funds were not utilized for that purpose and were reappropriated at the November 14th, 2023 special town meeting to fund the repair of the roof at the TC, or a portion of the roof at the TC Passios building, which did not proceed. Due to an accounting error, those same funds were also reappropriated at the 2025 annual town meeting to fund the FY26 capital fund. No funds have been expended from that transfer. When this error was found, we held it. So what this article does is unwind those two prior appropriations from the FY23 capital plan as if they never happened. So it unwinds the vote funding the TCP roof repair. It unwinds the vote last May funding a portion of the capital plan, bringing it basically all the way back so that the funding is where it began in the May 7th, 2022 vote for the FY23 capital plan, and reappropriates it from that original source back to the FY26 capital plan. So we're unwinding and redoing what we already did, but just to clean up the language and have it be clean.
So just reallocating the funds that were never spent to the.
We're actually not reallocating. We are re-voting what we voted last May. So last May, we voted to take $325,000 of the unspent funds from I'm sorry, was it 300? 300,000 from, no, 325,000 from the unspent funds from the FY23 capital plan and put them towards the FY26 capital plan. The issue there, though, is that those funds had already been moved to fund the TCP roof repair. So they weren't truly available for reappropriation into the FY26 capital plan because they've already moved. Nothing has been spent. We unwind one vote, we unwind the other vote, and go back to where we thought we were last May.
Okay, thanks.
I think I'm going to have this visually to vote for voters, showing kind of the votes and arrows on a handout, because truthfully, like, this is something that is, to explain it, is confusing, and it truly is a housekeeping article.
Okay.
Would somebody like to?
I'll recommend we recommend approval.
Second?
Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Those are aye.
Oh,
Tanya?
aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Myself, aye.
Okay, fiscal year 2027 capital budget, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate and/or transfer from available funds a sum of money to purchase or lease purchase and equip the fiscal year 2027 program of capital projects as illustrated in the charts below, including all costs incidental or related thereto, and as needed to authorize lease purchase agreements for the periods up to or in excess of 3 years for such purpose, or to take any other actions relative thereto. And there's a list of items here: DPW, Flat Hill Bridge completion, $350,000. Free cash or taxation, $350,000. Police, patrol cruiser, $68,627. It's free cash, $418,627. Is that right?
What was the question?
The second one, the police cruiser, is that,
68,627?
yeah, okay?
Yes.
Okay. 3, fire engine, 2, 4x4 brush truck replacement, $335,000. Schools, primary school entry and driveway expansion design, $25,000. Police, school primary, school playground design, $30,000. Supervised cruiser, $68,627. Public safety building, roof repair, $494,500. Facilities, public safety building, boiler upgrade, $115,000. Schools, school door security, intercom at Turkey Hill in primary, replacement, $24,044. Facilities, public safety controls upgrade, $35,000. Front end loader for the DPW, snow plows, replace, retain, spare, $259,000. And IT, adult activity center network upgrade, $20,405.
Is the primary school playground design, is that an accessibility design? What is that?
So the primary school design needs to occur or the playground change needs to occur for a couple of reasons. And I don't want to speak for the school committee, but I'm going to do my best to share what I have. So the parking and access, really the access to the primary school, there's funds to change that design that will likely result in the need to move the playground anyways. The playground is also oversized. The equipment is oversized for the age of the children at that school, and it would be to bring it up to ADA compliance. So this is design funds only. Transparently, they're in a supplemental budget bill. There have been funds included on the House side for this as well. The Senate, I don't think, has taken up the bill, but it is earmarked in a House bill. So should the state come through with funding for this instead, those funds would obviously not go to this project, would be available for contingency on other capital projects from within this same plan, and any unexpended funds from this plan at the end, when all projects are complete, would be available for reappropriation.
Okay.
So I mentioned this before, a design playground, like, I think it's a waste of money, and I will explain why. Because for playgrounds, the people design are usually the people that sell and make equipment, and usually you don't do a design bid build. You allocate the money, how much money you have for a playground. You can pay millions of dollars for a playground. You can also have a $200,000 playground. And we have $250,000 for a playground. You then do a bid design build. And I have said that this is it's a more economical way to do bid design build.
I may be wrong, but correct me, I think you have to have a design to apply for the grant or the funding. No.
They're most likely not applying for any grants to fund this.
Okay, but the funding from the House or the Senate, what you were talking about,
Oh,
that might be
no.
the playground funding.
Nope, so the funding from the legislature would be the same funding for design.
Okay,
It's the same 30,000.
so they're going to require it either way.
So, nobody's requiring a design. What Anna is saying is a truthful possibility. So there's more than one way to build a playground, and the way that she described is a way to build a playground. There's not a legal requirement to have the design done first.
Okay.
Any other comments?
No?
Have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we recommend approval of the capital program.
Jay?
Oh, we never,
Aye.
have a second?
Oh, sorry.
Second.
Jay? Aye.
You said aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye, because one thing is not going to change my mind on the whole capital plan, so aye.
Aye.
Aye for myself.
Okay.
So one thing about Tanya sharing information is that the public can, at town meeting, make a motion to reduce the amount if they want to. So, part of this process is about sharing information with the public.
Okay, X, Public Educational Government, PEG, Access Enterprise Fund. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate or transfer from available funds a sum of money to fund the fiscal year 2027 Public Educational PEG, Government PEG Access Enterprise operating and capital budgets, or to take any other action relative thereto. So this is the annual vote for PAC.
My recommendation is that you defer at least until next Monday on this one. I've been working with the PAC director. We've had some revisions to the budget, which is why this is in bright yellow with a bunch of XXX for the numbers. So defer at least until Monday, if not until town meeting.
Yeah, so are they looking for another place? Is that, or is there change their budget, or?
No, in reviewing their budget, I wanted to adjust some numbers with the director.
Okay.
But they do have a budgetary increase planning for Elise, but I think that was presented to you already.
Have we made progress on some of those conversations? Is it too early to say?
For Elise, no, unfortunately not. Fitchburg, I think, was looking for something a little different in combining, so,
Oh, they wanted to combine?
yeah.
Oh, I mean,
So-
it wouldn't be a bad thing, is it?
Maybe not in the long term, it's just right now, what we need to deal with right now is just the space needs, and then we can have those conversations, but, no, so I think we're finding some space needs for some of their things within the town, some of their space needs, but it's gonna be their studio space that remains a challenge.
So I'll make a motion that we defer.
Second?
Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Myself, aye.
Okay, Y, Solid Waste Disposal Program Enterprise Fund, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate or transfer from funds available a sum of money to operate the Solid Waste Disposal Program Enterprise Fund for fiscal year 2027, or take any other actions related thereto. And in the summary, it talks about the fund does not cover the cost of recycling. The planned motion under this article will be $500,000 from solid waste disposal enterprise revenue to operate the solid waste program for fiscal year 2027. So it's $500,000.
So we don't have the final amount, so we defer?
Well, that's fine.
We usually make motions, just historically speaking, we always make motions with a number.
500,000? Solid waste enterprise, 500,000?
So it's that, well, it says the planned amount. So you caught me on planned amount versus the amount is.
So there's three different things that you have when you look at a warrant. You have the warrant article language. Oftentimes, in the warrant article itself, there's not a number. You have the motion, which is the number. The motion typically does not get printed on the face of the booklet. The motion is something separate. Then we have the summary. This motion will be the number printed in this summary. I can't say, it says planned because anything could happen, right? But the motion for this article will be $500,000 transfer.
So just, okay, so if our motion is to recommend a $500,000, yes, but if we don't have a number, we would have been making a motion, is my point.
Yeah, I do not believe this number will be changing, so.
Okay, when you use the word planned, you threw me off with that. So I'll make a motion to approve recommendation for a solid waste disposal program enterprise fund for the amount of $500,000.
Second.
Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Aye for myself.
Z, Water Enterprise Fund, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate or transfer from available funds a sum of money to operate the Water Enterprise Fund for fiscal year 2027, or take any other actions relative thereto. The plan is for $120,000 from the enterprise revenue to operate the fund for next year.
This one is in bright yellow, Jen.
Are you looking at an old copy? The one that you have printed tonight should be,
No, I'm
the
looking,
120 is the number.
I'm looking at your big spreadsheet.
Oh, that yellow there is for the select board's recommendation. The select board
Oh,
did not
okay.
make a recommendation. The 120 is the number, though.
Okay.
So,
So not for tonight, but it's related to the Water Enterprise Fund. I have heard that the town is not going to get paid back. It's going to take a while. I would like to understand the math
sure.
on that, and I'm sure you probably have that, and I believe you. I just like
Sure.
to see spreadsheets and understand how everything worked out.
Sure. And so for this one, for the 120, we are estimating that we are going to be paying Fitchburg $87,463.86. The 30% that we receive on top of that is $26,239.16, and so rounding up to 120, because those are based on usage estimates.
And the 30% is our contract?
30% is the maximum that we are allowed to bill under the intermunicipal agreement, and that 30% is what we will be using to pay back the town.
Okay, I'll wait to get my math questions answered later. Okay, I make a recommendation to approve the Water Enterprise Fund for $120,000 for fiscal year FY27.
Second? Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Aye for myself.
Now we're getting to the funny numbers. Z1, transfer of funds to the sewer trust fund. See if the town will vote to transfer from available funds the sum of $1,600 into the OPED sewer trust fund, or to take any other actions relative thereto.
OPEB is other post-employment benefits. So this is the sewer's contribution to the OPEB benefits of their employees.
I have a few questions. This is for their current employees, right?
Correct.
How's that liability calculated? The 1,600 on,
I would have to get back to you on that.
okay. And my next question is, how come PAG or PAC doesn't, I don't see an article for PAC as related to that?
That is a wonderful question.
That's a big liability for the town, and it seems that would be a reasonable thing for the enterprise fund to carry on those.
Do you know if it ever was in the past? I can look back myself.
I don't think it has ever was, but, we have done a lot of things that shouldn't have been done in the past, and
No,
like cleaning up things the way you've been doing.
No, that's actually a really good thing to look into. Thank you all.
Okay.
For this warrant, it's likely too late, but
I mean, is it? I mean, is the select board warrant? They can add.
So we would have to, so it's PAC's budget, though, it would have to go back to a meeting of PAC. They would have to this is something new that that board would likely want to consider at their budget. They would want to consider it as a board. I think we're going to vote on this next Tuesday. There's not that amount of
Gotcha.
time, yeah.
Can we maybe have this, like, I know we have voted on fall?
Yeah.
So maybe we can do the FY '27 vote for, okay, thank you. And as related to the current article on the sewer or OPEB, I make a motion to approve, okay, here. I'll make a motion to recommend approval of the OPEB Sewer Trust Fund transfer for $1,600.
Second.
Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Myself, aye.
Z2, fiscal year 2027 sewer enterprise, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate or transfer funds, available funds, a sum of money to operate the sewer enterprise fund for fiscal year 2027, or take any other actions relative thereto.
Does anybody have any questions on that?
And
I can make a motion to recommend approval of a total budget for the sewer enterprise fund for a total budget of $1,981,993,006.
second.
Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye. Salaries, administrative plan, SAP adjustment for fiscal year 2027, to see if the town will vote to replace the current salaries schedules in the Code of Lunenburg, Chapter 70, entitled Salary Administration Plans, Section 70-8, entitled Salary Schedules, Section A, and specifically Section, Schedule A, as referenced therein, as amended with the fiscal year 2027 salary schedule, which authorizes wages increases for fiscal year 2027 for permanent employees not covered by the collective bargaining unit agreement or individual contract, and therefore to transfer a sum of money from available funds to fund the wage increase for fiscal year 2027, or take any other action relative thereto. And this proposal provides a 3% cost of living adjustment for SAP employees for fiscal year 2027.
Is that the percentage from Social Security? The 3%? Round number?
It doesn't have anything to do with Social Security. That's our cost of living increase here locally for the town of Lunenburg. And there is, that accounts for approximately $52,000. It's a little short of $52,000 would be the total transfer from the salary reserve under this line. So if you recall from when you were looking at the budgets, there were folks who were shaded in pink, and it said that the COLA had not yet been applied. This is that COLA that then gets applied and carried through from the salary reserve and transferred into the individual budget lines if approved by town meeting. So it's sitting in this, it would sit in the salary reserve for now.
So that's going to sit on FY '27 budget and the salary reserve?
The 52,000, yes,
Okay.
and so it'll be a transfer from the salary reserve
So
under
the
this.
reason what I was asking for was because the cost of living adjustment is actually a number that the federal government puts out. It's generated by the Bureau of Labor and Statistics and announced by the Social Security Administration. And my question was, is 3% that number from the federal government, or are we assuming that that is the number that we Lunenburg is doing?
This is the We Lunenburg COLA. So COLAs are used, that term COLA is used across organizations, across government structures. The 3% is the We Lunenburg COLA.
That was my initial question. Is anywhere in the SAP that guarantees those employees a federal COLA at least?
Again, this has nothing to do with federal COLA.
I understand that. I'm just asking the basis of the contract. Is there any guarantee for the SAP employees they will receive every year an adjustment of cost of living?
There's no,
By anyone?
there's no,
Let me just finish.
there's no guarantee that any employee, other than those who are bound by collective bargaining agreements, receive a cost of living increase. So SAP employees, the pay plan is voted each year at town meeting.
So Jen, I appreciate how well prepared you are. If I could just like elaborate my questions, and if I could just elaborate it fully, and probably when I have less back and forth. So like that, please allow me to finish my question, even if it's long-winded. I'm Brazilian after all. My main language is Portuguese, so I'm sorry. Just allow me to speak in full, and then we.
Well, just go.
I was interrupted when I was trying to ask a question, but if I could, just next time, I would appreciate.
Jay? No, did you have a question? Your hand is up.
My hand is up?
Yep.
Yeah.
I must have hit it by mistake. No, now it's up.
Slowing us down, Jay, slowing us down.
Somebody want to make a motion?
I recommend we approve.
I second.
Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Myself, aye.
Okay. Okay, AA, fund the first year of the Professional Firefighters Union Collective Bargaining Agreement to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate or transfer from available funds a sum of money to fund the first year of the collective bargaining agreement dated July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2029, with the professional firefighters Local 4358A, Professional Firefighters Union, or take any other action there related thereto. So this article will, so has that been done yet? Are we?
So this and the two articles that follow it are all to fund the first year of the 3 active collective bargaining agreements that the town has, firefighters union, DPW, and clerical union. We do not have MOUs on any of these at this point, although fire is very close, clerical union is very close, and DPW is in active negotiations right now. So the select board deferred to town meeting on all 3 of these. To be clear, the role of town meeting, so that this board and the public is aware, the role of town meeting is not to approve or deny the collective bargaining agreement. That approval lies with the select board. The town meeting, by funding the first year of the agreement, provides the consideration necessary to bind the town to the terms of the agreement. So it's actually, the vote is actually binding the town to its obligations under the collective bargaining agreement. And then any transfers associated with funding the first year of the contract will also be transferred from the salary reserve.
I mean, I feel like if we're close, if they're close, we should defer as well, because
I think you should defer on all 3 of these.
One thing that has come up in previous town meeting before you were here, Jen, is that although town meeting doesn't vote on approving the contract, town meeting members want to understand, the highlights of the contracts. So I'll just mention that so we don't get to town meeting and an appropriate question about a public document is asked, and we don't have, so I think just the highlights, I seen being asked, and I seen hostile responses to the public members, which I don't think is warranted.
Yeah, provided that so if we're still negotiating with any of these groups, it's not a public document, but absolutely, if we're done, the MOU, if if we're only at MOU stage or the final contract is absolutely a public document. So thank you for sharing with me what town meeting voters may be expecting on those.
Yeah, if we have one, we'll talk about it, yeah. So just for efficiency of the process here, can I make a motion to defer to defer our recommendation to town meeting, the article for first year of firefighter contracts with local 5369, first year of clerical union, AFS and CME Council 93, and the first year of Teamster DPW contract.
Second.
Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Myself, aye.
M1, special appropriation, to see if the town will vote to transfer from available funds a sum of money to fund the following: TC Passio operating costs and certain decommissioning expenses, $121,800, special assistant to the assessor, $27,500, or take any other actions relative thereto.
I recommend approval.
Were there any comments?
No. When we make our motions, I've been trying to call out a number on although it's not about what's on town meeting or booklet or motion, just about our process. We always call out the numbers. So I'm happy to make the motion. I make a motion to recommend approval of special appropriation for TC Passes operating cost of $121,800, special assistant to the assessor for $27,500.
A second.
Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Aye for myself.
Oh, appropriate free cash to the OPEB trust fund, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate or transfer from available funds a sum into the OPEB trust fund that was created November 10th, 2010, special town meeting, or to take any other actions thereunto. And this is...
Is there any impact there for us if it's just moving around?
OPEB?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are transferring $335,437 of certified free cash in accordance with the Lunenburg's financial policies to the OPEB, towards the OPEB liability. We had talked about at the last meeting that there is the Lunenburg financial policy calling for a 10% transfer of the certified free cash, and that's what this article accomplishes.
Thank you.
Comments?
No.
I recommend we approve.
Second.
Jay?
Can we put a number in that? Jay, can you just say approve 330?
$335,437.
Second.
Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Aye for myself.
I apologize, Jen, I did not read the summary in the next page, I did not flip. That was on me.
Appropriation to the compensated absentee reserve fund, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate or transfer from the available funds a sum of $10,000 to the compensated absentees reserve fund that was created at the May 3rd, 2025 annual town meeting, or to take any other actions thereto. $10,000, yeah. I think we discussed this 2 meetings ago, or trying to remember when it was we had a discussion about that.
The only question I have we had any payouts from that account?
No. So we put 10,000 in last year, putting 10,000 in this year. Probably won't do it again after this year.
You're just trying to build up enough so that.
Just a little cushion. So we do have a line in our operating budget that we have for salary. It's next to the FinCom reserve, I believe, for retirement buybacks. So this is just if that line is exceeded.
Okay.
So I don't think we need to keep a large balance in there. That's,
I recommend approval for $10,000.
Second?
Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Aye, myself.
Q, appropriation to the 300th Anniversary Committee. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate or transfer the available funds, the sum of $15,000 to the 300th Anniversary Committee for the activities, program events, and celebrations planned by the committee and associated with the 300th anniversary of the incorporation of the town of Lunenburg, with such appropriations to expire June 30th, 2029, or take any other actions relative thereto.
Any comments?
Nope.
Jay?
I'll recommend approval for $15,000.
Second?
Jay?
No, I think 15,000 is too much.
Anna?
I kind of agree with Jay, and I seen around the state that the state where it gives towns money, we need to be knocking on their state. I'm gonna vote yes, but I do think it's too much money. We have always done these, by the way, with volunteer money and volunteer
Yeah.
everything. So like, we should keep the Lunenburg tradition of hard work and volunteering, but I'll vote yes, just so we have the 4 votes that we need.
Tanya?
I'm with you, but Jay.
Aye,
Myself, aye.
so 4-1. Article Q.
No, yeah.
Article Q1, appropriate free cash to the stabilization fund, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate or transfer from funds available a sum of money to the stabilization fund, or to take any other actions relative thereto. And the present balance of the stabilization fund is over $3 million, and the planned motion under this article is for $250,000, which I guess is the standard what we do, what we try to do every year if we can.
Sometimes we've done more or less, but
So. Oh, I was reading the wrong one, sorry.
Any comments?
I'll recommend we approve the, from free cash to the stabilization fund of $250,000.
Second.
Jay? Oh, I'm sorry, Anna.
So just one thing, I thought, Jen, not in the last meeting, but the meeting before, I think it was the one we were sitting here, like as a group, there was a discussion of if we're taking money out of that account this year, we're not putting any in, and you said, no, we're not.
this is, we're taking money out of the Special Purpose Vehicle Stabilization Fund. This is our General Purpose Stabilization Fund. This is the type of fund that we would go to if we were, and I know some people think we're in dire financial circumstances right now, but if we were in dire financial circumstances for general operations, this is what we would use in that circumstance.
This is not the vehicle
Correct.
stabilization fund, okay. Thank you.
Yep. Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
And myself.
Okay, Article Q2, appropriate free cash to the Special Purpose Stabilization Fund. See if the town will vote to raise and appropriate or transfer from funds available a sum of money to the Special Purpose Stabilization Fund or take any other action relative thereto. The current balance of the stabilization fund is $11,026. We're looking to $250,000 from free cash to, this will be for, I guess, health insurance.
That's correct. This is specific, so the town has a number of special purpose stabilization funds. This one is the Health Insurance Stabilization Fund. The thought here is we don't know what next year brings. We've had a lot of discussions around this being a pressure point on the budget. And this will be a source if we need to go to that, if we have another high year of insurance.
So what is the town, like, everything included, total insurance, health insurance cost?
Total health insurance cost?
Yeah, if you want to give me like ballpark.
I can give you town really quickly, school, not as quickly. The total town active health insurance is $1,454,862.
And how about the retirees, the total on that?
Town retirees, 570, school retirees, 1,655,000.
I think the schools is around 3.5 million.
If you give me a second, I can tell you roughly.
1.4, 3, 7 meio. So it seems like between all the buckets, we're talking about close to $8 million total in insurance, health insurance costs that we pay.
I don't know if I'm going in a different way, but if anybody has a school budget that they can pull up quickly, maybe while I'm looking in a different way. Health insurance.
My question, like, so I remember when we put the money in for the healthcare insurance, the healthcare, not the healthcare, yeah, the health insurance, was because we had a low than expected. And we had, the previous town manager was working, like, holding steady that, part of the budget should be for health insurance. 250 on close to $8 million, just so, is a 3.1% of that budget. Like, my questions would be, when would you use this money? What would trigger you to use that money? Because I know how the previous one was. Like, I know how that was created, what money we put it there, the logic for that money, and when we used it. So with that, I would ask you the same question, when would you use it? Let's start with, what is your plan for using it?
Potentially as early as next year. Potentially as early as next year.
Yeah, I understand. Is it when it crosses 8%? Is it when it crosses 10%, so that you're going to work on your budget now? Like, you start working on your F28 budget comes July 1st, right? You start planning everything. So the previous town manager, she used to hold that, her budget increases would always have that slot saved for health insurance. So whenever it passed that projected increase, she would use that. So that's the question I'm asking you.
I'm not going to be able to answer that question for you tonight. We are in a very different market than we were even 3 years ago, both with our overall operating budget together with the health insurance market. What I'm trying to do here is give the town some options. We're bringing an override forward this year of substance. We have a higher than usual free cash amount. Putting some funds here set aside for health insurance helps to brace the town a little bit if there is another large increase. I'm not going to give you a bright line rule tonight of what that looks like, and I'm not going to compare health insurance markets to what we were doing 4 years ago.
It's not about a market, it's about having a plan, just like we have a plan with the special stabilization, the vehicle fund. We have a plan for that, and we elaborate a plan. And I don't think we should be running with a lot of free cash. That has been my position. So this one will be a no for me until I have a plan, or we can defer it. And I'm not saying a set plan, I'm saying an outline of what that plan would be.
I think this is different than the vehicle funds, because we kind of know when we need a new vehicle every 3 years or whatever. We have no idea what health insurance will be next year, the year after that. And this is just trying to build in some cushion so that if we do have a 20% year or a 5% year, which we don't know, we'll be able to have money and be available, and it won't destroy our budget for that year. We won't put extra strain on it if that is. So I think it's always good to put those things in there if you can. I think with the amount of free cash that we have, I think that would be a good use of it. If things slow down, and I wouldn't say we should do that every year, but the next few years will be interesting.
And Tom, I don't disagree with anything that you said. I'm just asking for an outline of the plan for using it. And I think when you're putting money away, that's not too much to ask for an outline.
Well, I think she said that she was, if the health insurance rates went up a lot one particular year,
Define a lot for
use of
me.
money, but it would depend on other things. If we were flush with cash and, that particular year, maybe we didn't have to draw on it, but it's just there. It's not like the motor vehicles where we know that's going to happen. This is more of an insurance. It's something to help the town from an outlying year, I guess, would be the.
And I also I think where you can look at the data and the trending health insurance cost. They don't go down. They never go down.
They're not going to go down.
So they're going to go up.
So even if it went up for 2%.
Right.
This provides a cushion.
Right. Yeah.
It's not going to go down.
Yeah, and there was a year, I think a few years ago, where it didn't go up at all. It went down, and actually, I think the town put money aside.
That's when you created this fund.
That's when we created the fund. So, none of us, if I knew what insurance costs will be next year, I could probably find some way to make $1 zillion off of that. So, I think it's a good thing to have. It's a nice, it is one of the drivers of our costs. And it's the one that we know the least about in the future. We know if we have a contract with our buses, we have a 3-year or 4-year contract, we kind of know the future. If we have, our expenses for employees, as we saw today, we have contracts and they go out 2 or 3 years. Some of them do. So this is the one that we have no idea.
So I'm going to give you a line out of what I'm looking for. Years where the health insurance cost goes above 10%, we'll use the funds. There you go. You gave me the parameters when the funds are going to be used. That's all I'm asking is, what is that? Now, if you say, I know it's about 3% of our overall cost, so that means that the health insurance just went up by 14%. Okay, that's an outline. Is it the years that goes above 8%? The other flip to that, Tom, so that's the outline that I'm looking for. You don't need to have, precise market projections for that. The other thing is, it is $250,000, where, if last year we did use $500,000 to help the school get by, and they're looking to, if the override doesn't pass, honestly, I'd prefer to put this 250,000 towards trying to save some positions at the school. And, you know, like, when you don't have a lot of money, you gotta kind of plan, you know, your shopping a little bit like that way. So that's, I need more information about the plans for the use of this fund, how big we wanted that to be. Right now, it would be at 3% of our total expenditures, and where it's gonna go. So I don't think this request from a financial point is unreasonable.
I also think we have like overrides on the ballot that we're gonna be talking about, and I do not want to go back to residents in future years for another override. I'd rather have a fund established that's not gonna affect resident taxes. Like, we can't just keep going back every year if there's an increase in health insurance for another override, or ask for more money from the taxpayers. So,
And this is coming from free cash, so one of the things you use free cash for is capital items and for stabilization kind of funds. You try not to use them for annual operating funds. So it's a good purpose of the money.
Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we recommend approval of the $250,000 transfer from free cash to the special purpose stabilization fund.
a second?
Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
No,
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Myself, aye.
Okay, next one is DD, Vacation Systems, Vacation System Transition Liability Reduction. To see if the town will vote to transfer from available funds a sum of money for the purpose of funding a buyout of accrued vacation time for town employees in connection with the transition to the accrual-based vacation system adopted at the November 25th, 2025 special town meeting, and similar provisions adopted through the collective bargaining agreements. Said funds to be used to compensate eligible employees for a portion of their accrued vacation balance as of June 30th, 2026, in order to reduce the town's long-term vacation leave liability associated with the transition to the accrual-based system, or take any other actions relative thereto. And the motion would be for transfer $270,000 in free cash to buy 100% of the outstanding vacation liability owned by employees.
I have questions about that, but do you have, I mean, I read the summary. Do you have other things you want to say before I ask my questions?
Yeah, maybe it'll clarify, maybe it won't. So, so a couple things that we have to do. So for salary administrative plan employees, we have to buy, based on the vote at November town meeting, all the time over 3 weeks that they would have gotten dropped on July 1st. So this is time for SAP employees and union employees. This is time that they've already earned and that they are owed as of July 1st. So if each and every one of these employees were to leave service on July 1st, 2026, we would owe them $270,000 for the total vacation time that is going to drop on July 1st. That's time that they've already earned. I just want to, I'm re-emphasizing it because that's time that they've already earned. So for the salary in administrative plan employees and for the police who have a settled contract and for the fire department where we have an agreement around this and the clerical union where we have an agreement around this, we're still negotiating with DPW, we are obligated to purchase the time above and beyond the 3 weeks. That 3 weeks that's left, so whatever, 3 weeks or under, whatever it's left gets divided into thirds, and those employees use a third of the time in year one, a third of the time in year two, and a third of the time in year 3. So if they had, for example, if they had 5 weeks of vacation, that would drop on July 1st, 2 weeks the town is obligated to buy off. The remaining 3 weeks, 1 year would be used, 1 week would be used in year 1, 1 week in year 2, 1 week in year 3, before other time is used that they are now earning. So that is an administrative burden, number one, to have to track that kind of accrual bucket time is what we've called it, but the accrual bucket time across the years as we burn down that liability. That's number one. Number two is by buying off this liability at today's dollars, we're paying for it now, as opposed to if we have to buy it out in future years. So where we had a higher than normal return of free cash, knowing that we had to do something, we looked first at what did we have to buy off. It's approximately $50,000. That's for everybody for week 3 and up, or above 3 weeks of vacation. For everybody, for everything else, it's $270,000. So for a variety of reasons, it's my recommendation that we buy off 100% of the liability and transition as clean as possible on July 1 to the new system.
So is the new system where they have a limit how much they can accumulate?
So the new system, let me explain just a little bit about the current system for most employees. So most employees are hired by the town of Lunenburg. They start working, and they're not allowed to take any vacation time at all until July 1 when they receive their drop. On the July 1 date, they only get whatever they would have, a proportional amount accrued in the prior year. So it takes some time, if you are hired by the town of Lunenburg, to get up to your full vacation benefit, whether it's even 2 weeks. You don't really have access to that. Starting for new employees that since November, since that vote in November, anybody that's been hired since then, that's an SAP employee, for example, so I'll just describe it for them, although it's the same in the collective bargaining agreements. Anybody that's hired starts accruing their vacation immediately. So if they have 2 weeks of vacation time that they accrue a year, they start accruing that in month 1. They're allowed to take it in the red. If they take no vacation time, by the end of their first year of service, they would have their 2 weeks accrued. If they continue in service beyond that 1 year, and they still haven't taken any vacation, they get capped at 1 week above their annual accrual. So yes, this is that it keeps going until they're capped. But they would, in order to hit that cap, you would need to go for an entire year without taking any vacation time. But it's a continual accrual method. It disjoints us from the fiscal year. What's really important about that right now is that if you come around municipal buildings in the month of June, which is sometimes our busiest time as we're doing year end, everybody's burning off their vacation because they have an arbitrary deadline of June 30th. So this is not giving any employee anything that they're not entitled to. It's buying off the liability.
Okay, so my question was, for the new system caps at a maximum of their allowed year plus 1 week.
Correct.
Correct. Is that across the board, or is that something you're negotiating with all the unions? And because the vote that we took last year was for SAP.
So it's been negotiated and settled with the police union.
Okay.
They actually started this July 1st of this year.
2020.
So they're 3 weeks and above, they're above 3 weeks has already been bought off. So they just have whatever was below that. This has been settled with fire and clerical. And so the DPW is still negotiating on this one. But the goal is that it's going to be universal across the organization.
Right. Is the immediate buy is also negotiated and accepted for all the groups you just mentioned?
The
The buying out versus them being allowed to take more vacation on year 2 and 3, as you described earlier.
The buying out of anything above 3 weeks has been negotiated. We would have to, if town meeting approves this, execute MOUs with the bargaining units.
Okay. And with the SAP, that was voted in November that we are going to buy, or we voted that we're going to buy up above X number of weeks and employees can,
I just sent an email on this today, so hold on, I'm going to read exactly from it. Thought I sent an email on this today. I must have a draft email on this today. So it's with the, I'll try to do it from memory. With the SAP employees, the language that got approved by town meeting was that we are obligated to buy everything above the 3 weeks, and that if funds are available, the town manager and the employee can agree to go further than that. So it's a possibility that not 100%, depending on what those MOUs look like, it's a possibility that 100% of this does not get expended. In that case, it's available for reappropriation.
okay. So when you, my question was related to the SAP employees. Does the individual employee has to agree with you to buy their vacation, or can you mandate them?
For over 3 weeks mandate
You can mandate them, and that was already voted,
in November.
okay.
So this is just about the dollars and cents. This is not about any changes to any plans. It's about the.
Right,
yeah.
I'm just trying to understand, like you said, the employee has to agree, but the union employees have to agree, the SAP were mandated last November.
Well, okay, I'm going to get the language of, hold on a second.
This light's today. I think I'm gonna get a migraine. Sorry. Is it brighter than usual? Jen, you can just send me.
I'm right here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So there's several paragraphs about the transition, but the one that's on point to this, employees may request and the town manager may approve, subject to the availability of funds, to be paid for a greater amount of their balance as of June 30, 2026. Any remainder shall, as detailed above, be banked in 3 equal increments for 27, 28, 29, unless the employee and the town manager agree that the bank time shall be used for a shorter period of time. So for SAP employees, they could say, I don't want to be bought out.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Any other comment? Is there a motion?
Recommend we approve the $270,000 from free cash.
Second.
Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Myself, aye.
Amendments to the salary administration plan, positions, titles, and grades. See if the town will vote to amend the code of the Lunenburg Chapter 70 entitled Salaries, Administration Plan, Schedule A, entitled Classifications and Salary Schedules as follows, that the position of Assistant Town Manager be added and assigned to grade 17, and that the title of the Assistant Town Manager / HR Director be amended to HR Director, or take any other actions related thereto. So this is probably not a financial issue, because this is not funding the positions, this is just grading them.
Well, it has an indirect impact. Like, we vote on SAP recommendations. On the SAP right now, the assistant town manager is assistant town manager, HR director?
Correct.
On the document?
At a grade 16. So the grade 16 position would become Human Resources Director, and the grade 17 position would be Assistant Town Manager.
You say that again, would the
So-
HR director remain at a 16?
Yes.
Okay. I'm all for it. But I'm just trying to think, does it have a financial
Well,
impact or does it?
funding the positions would be a financial
Yes.
thing. Having them listed on there and grading them is not a direct financial impact.
I think it does have a direct financial impact. Once you're creating the fund, we have voted many different things where we create fund and we fund on things. I'm not against adding an assistant town manager. I don't think a year of cuts is when we should be adding, and I don't think, my question is, in terms of the HR director, the current person working on HR director, who's doing the work as HR director, she is doing other tasks. Has a job description being, like a revised job description, is her role going to change?
The piece of her role that will change is procurement. That's the one piece that's non-HR that's in her job description. That time will absolutely be filled with other HR matters.
And I think you also said, Jen, when we talked about this a while ago, that operations might come off her later.
Well, that's the one. It's the procurement piece.
Okay.
That's the only non-HR function that she's serving in, depending on, and we're working on a job description for the assistant town manager position. And depending on who we get to serve in that position, they may or may not be procurement certified, so the current HR director may have to do some tutelage in that area.
Are you certified procurement?
No,
Are you looking?
partially.
Partially, okay.
I need the 3 days out of office to go keep taking the classes.
Gotcha. I mean, there's no elaboration to me on how the HR, so just, you know, the last year that Heather was here, that year, which was, we added hours to that position. So anyway, I hear you. I don't disagree with things. I just don't think all the information is out there for me to make. I'd like to maybe defer this, and maybe I can have some conversations with you, Jen. Right now, I'll vote no on this. I don't have enough information to make a recommendation.
Although I do agree with you, Anna, that we are, in a monetary crunch, I think that if we do not add this position, this town cannot operate at the level it needs to operate for it to function. My fear is that Jen is going to burn out, and that's it. And we're going to lose a very, very, very qualified and very good town manager. And I think we've seen in the past couple of years what not having a good town manager looks like and why we are kind of where we are.
I didn't say, and I don't have enough information. I don't believe in throwing money at problems. And I don't think Jen is throwing money at problems. Making a financial decision, don't have enough information to make that decision. That's it. It's not personal. It's very, very straightforward. If someone is asking me.
Like the salary amount, the job
well,
description?
I mean, it doesn't have to be a job description, but we added hours to the person who's currently doing HR director, two town meetings ago, so that they could do more. I want to understand, not a job description, but you can give me a list of tasks, how their times are consumed, and what is missing to do that they're going to do further. I mean, this is like anyone adding a position in a company, they will go through this process. And also on the assistant town manager, I understand too that they are looking to alleviate some of the tasks that Jen has. What are the tasks? Again, not a job description. Like when you're adding a new position, these are the questions you get asked in the corporation is, who are you looking to add? What are the job functions they're going to do? And it's not out of this world. So I'm asking for basic information before I add new people to, to our organization. That's basic, not just, it's gonna help Jen. What are they gonna help Jen with? That's it.
I would have loved for this question to have come last week.
And I
Well, this
respect
is-
that
this-
opinion, too.
Well, I mean, this
Well,
is
this
a,
is really, I mean, what you're asking, we deferred the budget. That's where the money is being spent. This is just setting up a table of salaries and administrative and grades. So this is not spending money. If we, so my thing is that this is not about a financial thing. Now, if you don't have this done, can you then hire an assistant town manager? I guess you can't because it's not on the list. But ultimately, the budget, I think it was the regular budget, the initial budget, included the assistant town manager. So we deferred that, and we can discuss all that with the other two members of our committee when we discuss L, I think it is. So to me, I mean, we can defer this one too if you want, because but to me, this is a non-financial item.
well, I don't agree with it not being financial, and I'm okay deferring so that, then we can be presented with that information.
The whole purpose of this is just to add a grade level to assistant town manager and to take town manager / HR director and make it HR director.
I hear that. I'm not disagreeing
So
with
it
any of
has
that.
nothing to do with,
I'm happy to pull up previous finance committee meetings, finance meetings where we discussed this. We have incomplete information. We can defer to the next meeting where maybe we'll have better information that we're presenting the public. That's all.
If
And-
your
and-
meeting
and
is
one-
on Monday,
Hold on.
respectfully, if your meeting is on Monday, you will receive no additional information between now and Monday on this
Okay.
matter.
And
So-
we did talk about,
One other thing, so hold on, I wasn't done when Jen started talking. One other thing is technically the town manager can, although we have the SAP that does have an assistant town manager and HR director, I believe she can hire multiple people under the same title. So I don't have enough information. I'm happy to put a list of questions that I would have, before I vote on this.
And additionally, I think other people have been hired in this town, and we've put other things on without this information, without job descriptions, without salaries, like we voted to
No.
add positions.
I think job descriptions and things like that, HR directors and managers and all that, that's kind of their, it's not for the finance committee to know what the HR director's job description should look like. But I think as far as just talking about the assistant town manager and the HR director and all that, we've had discussions in the tri-committees, we've had discussions in finance with the town manager and others, and people were heard and voiced, and I know some people disagree with it and others agree, but, at some point, we have to, I see, one of the select board members voted against this, so I didn't listen to the meeting, so I don't know what the thing is, but my guess is that select board person had an issue with this and made that vote. So I think we could defer it. and
Can we just
have a
defer it?
bigger discussion, but I think we pretty much have made our decisions, and we have enough information to do the things that we as a committee need to do.
Well, I mean, Tom, I literally just said that I don't have enough information. And when we are adding these positions before, they would be approved by a personnel committee, which now the town manager is acting as the personnel committee. So we don't have enough information. Happy to defer it.
And I just want to say, this is not the first time this has been brought up.
right.
And we had opportunities to ask for more information, and we did not.
I am asking for information right now.
But
Yes?
We've had this way before.
I don't, first of all, I'm not limited to time when I can ask for information, first. Second thing is, last meeting, when I was bringing up questions that I had to the fire chief, the chair was hurrying me up. So, now we have the time to ask the questions. Please don't chastise fellow members for asking questions. And I've been really good about getting out questions when I have them, so, please.
Jay?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the IT director position is being eliminated to fund this position, which is what I had an issue with.
Was it eliminated, or was it just never filled?
It's not
Being
the,
eliminated, Mike.
it's not the IT director position. We do not have an IT director position.
Okay, what is
We use SUSER IT. This is the IT and communications manager.
Yes.
It's not an IT director. She does not do IT work per se.
But that position is being eliminated to fund the assistant town manager.
Yes, but I'm concerned with what your understanding of that position is, if you're referring to it as an IT director and thinking of it as the individual that used to serve in that role who was working on computers and installing software and fixing things. That's not what the IT and communications manager's job is. They are an intermediary between SUSER IT and the town, but they are not an IT director. So it's not as though we're losing somebody that is ensuring network security. I just want to be clear on that.
So you think we should just defer it? We already deferred the budget, so this seems to be related to the whole budget item. I'll make a motion that we defer this to our next meeting.
Second?
Jay?
Yes, to defer.
Anna?
Aye. You got, because it's a roll call, we gotta wait for you.
I know what it's like to be on the...
Tanya?
Aye. Doing a great job, Jean.
Tom?
Aye.
I vote no.
All right. GG, notice of the town meeting. To see if the town will vote to amend the code of Lunenburg, Chapter 181, entitled, 81, entitled Town Meetings, Section 1, entitled Warrants, by making certain deletions, strike-throughs, and additions in bold. I'm not going to go through all that, because down here it says the town currently mails the warrant books to every household in which a registered voter resides. This mailing has a substantial cost for both printing and of the booklets and the mailing itself. The amendment would allow notice of the town meeting in a form of a letter or a postcard to be mailed to each household at a much lower cost. The printing of the booklets also cause a time restraint for staff and board and committees. So basically, this would allow us to not be required to mail the warrants to everybody, mail in notice, postcard or whatever, and then a town person could then say, yes, mail me one by whatever the thing says. So that's what this is.
We'll still provide copies at town meeting. Maybe? No?
I don't know.
Okay.
Would that be, well, she's not here.
She's gone.
I know I don't think it's required, but I think we always had extra copies.
Yeah.
Whatever was left over, they always brought.
I think it's a great idea.
I
mean,
agree.
we're trying to save money, and this one,
I
Does it?
think it was like 40,000? Was that I can't remember what the budget was
No,
for the printing and mailing. I
think it was 15.
Some money, but obviously not.
Well, I recommend we approve.
Yeah, there's definitely a financial interest,
Yep.
not because of the issue of changing it, but because it will save us money. So there's a financial interest. So I agree. I'll second the approval.
Jay?
I'm going to say no on this.
Anna?
so I'm going to be a no on this because I don't think Council on Aging has had the opportunity to review the final language, and that was the concern that we had last meeting. Town meeting, it was Lou Franco proposed to pass it because Council on Aging had not time to review it and ensure, and I think the language is fine, it's just we pass it because of that, so that's.
Aye.
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 Okay. HH, transfer of custody and care and control of Kids Kingdom and the land from the school committee to the select board. There's no, is this not a financial issue? I don't see.
I don't think this one is a financial issue.
No.
So I'll make a motion to find the transfer of Kids Kingdom land is, represents no financial impact to the town.
I'll second that.
Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Myself, aye.
II, opens, or LL? II, Open Space Committee. This is the town will vote to amend the code of Lunenburg, Chapter 12, entitled Board, Commissions, and Committees by inserting a new Article 9 thereto entitled Open Space Committee as follows. And mine's a lot of stuff here. Let me just read the summary. The Open Space Committee is an ad hoc, as-needed committee of the Planning Board. The Open Space Committee seeks through this article to become a standing committee of the town. The committee, which is an advisory and not a regulatory, would include one member each of the Planning Board, Conservation Committee, Parks Commission, Agricultural Commission, and 3 at-large committee members. The primary duties of the committee are to produce and update Lunenburg's open space plan, recreation plan, and assist and advise other town boards and committees regarding the use, acquisition of open space areas for the community. Review chapters 61 conversions and make recommendations to the select board and to maintain the inventory of open space in Lunenburg.
So I actually think this has a financial impact, not necessarily direct, but indirect. And I'll tell you how. When we bought the Lane property, the group that was negotiating that, they had to update our open space book, which is mandatory by the state if you want to apply for recreational and land resources. So what happened was this committee was put together at an ad hoc place to create that document, and then we were able to purchase the Lane property with money from the state. So by making this committee a standalone committee, and with the designation that they are responsible for maintaining the open space book that is required, it's going to give us that good standing with the state regularly. Currently, in some communities, that is under the Conservation Commission. A lot of towns have an open space, so that was why that recommendation came.
Any other comment?
So you're going to make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion that the Finance Committee finds that, recommends the creation of the Open Space Committee as a standalone committee.
I'll second it.
Jay?
I'm going to say the article has no financial impact, and I support it, but I don't believe it has a financial impact on the budget.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Myself, aye.
Amendment to the sewer bylaws. To see if the town will vote to amend the Code of Lunenburg, Chapter 200, entitled Sewer, Section 200-18, entitled Waivers, by making certain deletions and strike-through and additions in bold italics as follows. And basically, it's striking through emergency circumstances, threat to the safety and continued use of the property, that a waiver may be resolved to unusual or extraordinary circumstances threaten the safety and continued use of the property, that a waiver may resolve. So it's just changing the language. And this came from the Sewer Commission. So this is something that they must have thought was going to make their job easier and make it a little bit cleaner and better. I don't see any financial impact on this to the town. So I'll make a motion that we, no financial impact.
Second? Jay?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Myself, aye.
And that is it. Yay.
Did everybody have a chance to look at the Finance Committee report?
The one that you and Mike contributed to? Is that the one?
Yep.
Yes.
So we're going to meet on the 6th, right? Should we wait till Kristen is back?
Good.
Yeah, because there's already an agenda
Yeah, we have an
out,
agenda out
so we're
there.
good.
It's the same agenda as this one. I think
Yep.
Chris just put it out and said, just in case.
Yep.
So maybe just hold off on that till he's back.
Does anybody want to discuss old business?
Let's see. I watched the school committee meeting. Yeah. No,
Did anybody have a chance to look at the minutes?
I did.
Yep.
Make a motion, we approve them for the
226,
26,
35,
312,
312, and
and
319.
Second.
Jay?
I'll abstain.
Okay. Anna? Aye. Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Me, aye. Are there any committee reports? No? Topic for future meetings?
We have them already set up.
Just the warrants that we need to discuss. And I think we should just go through all the deferred, even if they don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Even if we're deferring to town meeting, I think we should say we're deferring that to town meeting if we don't
Yeah.
have
Right.
sufficient funds, or the ones that we kind of had some conflict on during this meeting.
There aren't that many that we deferred. Some of them will take
Yeah.
some discussion.
Some we just don't
Which
have
is good.
the numbers yet, so.
Right, and some of them don't have the numbers, which is always at every
Yep.
town meeting. There's some that we're waiting for the final number, and
Is there any public comment?
nope.
Any comment from the committee? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Jay?
Aye.
Anna? Aye. Tanya?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Myself, aye.